Hope you're all having a super fantastic sparkling day. Welcome to Porch Light Letters podcast number 2481. Today we're talking about that a DNA match is not just data. But first, I apologize for being on almost an hour late. I decided today that I haven't done something for a while, and so I decided today I was going to go and do it. I've had a lot of little wins this week, and so I thought it was time to celebrate. So I figured I'd hop on the bus, go into Waikanai, and go take myself out for morning tea and just browse around the shops. There's usually about 30 to 40 minutes between the buses before I have to get back. And so I did that, although I was a little late because I had everything ready to go. I had my backpack on, had my shoes on, had my wallet. I've got a crossbody wallet that I wear. Went into my wallet to get out my Snapfish, my Snap card, and my Snap card is what I swipe to get on and off the bus, and it wasn't there. And I was like, oh, I had taken some of my cards out of my wallet when I went to the US. And so I was like, oh, they'll be in my lockbox. Great. Where are the keys? And this is like 10 minutes before the bus is due to arrive out front of my gate because I have a bus stop at my gate. And so I was like, okay, I've got 10 minutes to find it so I can get out there and get on the bus. Well, it took a little longer than that. I finally, after turning the only places that could be upside down, I thought, well, I need to go to the bathroom. So I'm sitting there and I suddenly go, I know where the keys are. And sure enough, got out of there, found my keys, got my thing, and I still had like 20 minutes to wait for the bus. And so got some stuff done online and then went out and caught my bus. So it was almost lunchtime by the time I got into downtown Waikanai. But I will tell you this, I thought, right, we're not doing morning tea anymore. We're going to be doing lunch. So I went to one of the cafes that I like down there, Joe and Joy's, and got a bacon and egg pie and a hot chocolate. And they have different sizes. They have tulip. Tulip is a cup about this big and about this round. And then they have two sizes in between. They don't have a medium. They have tulip, small, large, and extra large. And the extra large is a bowl. I kid you not. It is like this round and about this deep. It's almost as big as my soup bowls that I have that have a handle on them. And this one comes with no handle, so you've got to use two hands. And I will tell you, it was delicious hot chocolate. It was amazing. So rather than sitting outside, because there was this woman there with this kid could not make up its mind what it wanted for. It didn't want anything. Oh, I want that. No, I don't want that. Yeah, I want that. I don't want that. And I was sort of like, yeah, sorry, Grandma. I just feel like being kid-free today. So they went and sat outside, and I was sort of like, it is a little on the chilly side. So I went and the back area was completely empty. So I went and sat in there and set myself up, had my pie, had my book, still reading Hope Rises. And so I'm reading Hope Rises. I haven't had a lot of chance to actually sit down and read Hope Rises. So I actually took it with me. I thought, I am going to open this book and I'm going to sit there in the cafe and I'm going to read at least a minimum of 2 chapters. I got 3 read. And so I sat there enjoying my bacon and egg pie, which was delicious. And then they brought over my hot chocolate, which was really, really yummy, and had 2 marshmallows with it. Yay. And sat there and read my book for a while. And then I thought, okay, well, it's starting to get a little busier in here. So I think I need the table soon. So I'll leave. And so I wandered around, did a couple of errands I had to do. And then I went down to my favorite bakery, which is right next door to my favorite fish and chip shop. So I went to my favorite bakery and got a couple of things to bring back home for afternoon tea / maybe even just dinner. Their cheese scones are like about, I should have put it in here. They're massive. They're like the size of a softball. They're huge. And then they had lamingtons. And I'm like, looking at this case and I'm going, oh my gosh, what am I going to have? Because there's so much good stuff in here. So I set it on a chocolate lamington, which is basically a sponge cake coated in chocolate, something or other. And then they cover it all in coconut. Then they slice it on an angle and put cream in there with a little dollop of jam. Oh, it's really, really good. So I got one of those. And then they also had an apple donut as well. And the apple donut's like about this long. That's going to do me two servings because there's just so much sugar in those. I'm going to have to limit how much I have each time. I'm not diabetic or pre-diabetic. I just watch the amount of sugar because I end up having sugar crashes and falling asleep. So we don't want that to happen. I like my protein too much to give it up for sugar too often. So when I do allow myself these sugar doses, it's done like the lamington will get split in half, and I'll have half now and half tomorrow. The apple donut I might have like a third tomorrow because of how long it is. Have like a third tomorrow, and then the other, yeah. It'll be those 2 things will be consumed over the next 2 to 3 days. And so then I was like, oh, I've still got a bit of time to get to the bus. The bus is like 40 minutes away. So I went past a place called House of Travel. And I thought, I got to get travel insurance for next year, for the cruise for the investors cruise we're going on next year, which if you want to come with us, the link is in the description below. So click on that link, go join us. Come join us. It's going to be fantastic. We've got masterminding going on. We've got mergers and acquisitions, and we've also got what's the other one? Investments, real estate investments, that sort of thing. So if you're interested in any of those areas, go click the link, come join us. We're going out of Port Canaveral, which is the closest airport is Orlando. So we're going to go out of Port Canaveral down to the Bahamas and back again. It's a five-night cruise. We're going to be on Harmony of the Seas, which is one of the Oasis class ones, which has the boardwalk and the park and the Central Park and the Aqua Theatre and really cool stuff to do on board the ship. We've got 2 days at sea, and we've got 1 day at Coco Cay, which is Royal Caribbean's private island, and then we have a day in the Bahamas at Nassau. So come join us. It's going to be fun. But click on the link. You'll get all the details there on the website. But come join us. So I thought I need to get travel insurance because I'm booking it through a US agent. I can't get travel insurance because I live in New Zealand. So I went into this travel agency and asked if they just sell travel insurance. And so we got talking with Rosie. Rosie was really cool, most accommodating. She got to learn a little bit the fact that I've been a travel professional for 15 years. And so I was able to talk the lingo and all that sort of stuff. And so we got that sort. She's given me a quote on that, and we'll finalize the quote once we get the airfare booked and the air booked and the hotels booked. Once I finalize the itinerary and everything else. But we've got it in there with the cruise package attached, and she gave me what the pricing was, and I had to do a quick convert into US dollars to figure out, okay, that's what I would have paid in the US for that. So that was really cool. So got that sorted out. Then asked her another question about something that I want to do, and we'll see if it eventuates. But yeah, so she gave me some quotes on that trip. And we just had a good little chinwag while we're looking up all this information and stuff. So it was a really good visit. Very happy I did it, and had to keep an eye on the time to go catch my bus. So I just got home from my bus, So now we're going to talk about a DNA match is more than data, is more than just data. So it's easy to look at DNA matches as numbers on a screen. You've got the shared centimorgans. What is a centimorgan? That's a very good, and I know someone's going to ask, what's a centimorgan? So a centimorgan, which usually you'll see it on the paperwork, is a little c with a capital M. It's what is used in DNA testing to measure how much DNA two people share. In simple terms, the more centimorgans you share with somebody, the more closely related you are to them. The fewer shared centimorgans generally means a more distant relationship. So the DNA testing companies compare your DNA with another person's DNA and calculate how much matching DNA you've both inherited from common ancestors. And that shared amount is known as centimorgans. Typically, but not always, and I'm going to say this typically because Ancestry puts these numbers in there as to how many centimorgans you have in common, and people think, oh, that person is that. Not always. So a parent and child would have about 3,400 centimorgans in common. Full siblings about 2,300 to 2,800. First cousins around 575 to 1330, so 1,330. Second cousins around 75 to 360. Those are big spreads. And so they do these estimates based on the centimorgans, and people take that information and go, oh, they're a second cousin, they're a first cousin. No. Before you go running with that, let me tell you this. DNA shows that you are blood related, nothing more. It just shows that you have a common ancestor somewhere along the way, that you are related. Genealogy shows you how you are related. You have to put the two together. You can't rely on one to say, oh, because I share this many centimorgans with you, we're second cousins. No, that is not always the case. I had a common match come up, and I knew straight away that this was my aunt, but Ancestry said it was a first cousin. Yeah, no. I put a first or a second cousin. I'm just like, yeah, no, that's my aunt. It didn't even give me the option of having an aunt in the thing when it's for this estimates. It says a first or second cousin. It did the same with my uncle on my dad's side. So yeah, so be very, very careful. Another one told me that we were like fourth or fifth cousins, it turned out we were third half cousins because we had one great-grandparent. We had one second great-grandparent in common. And that was because my great-grandmother, my second great-grandmother, I descended from her and her first husband. This person I had the DNA match with descended from her and her second husband, because her first husband died and she ended up getting remarried, and she comes off the second husband's branch of the family. So we are half cousins because we only have one common second great-grandparent. Had we been both great-grandparents, then we would have been third cousins. So we were half third cousins, but this one didn't even give that as an option. It said we were either third or fourth. So we were able to go in, and fortunately in Ancestry, you can go in and you can put in there what the actual relationship is until you get to fourth. You can do up to third cousin X number of times removed, but as soon as you hit the 4 cousin mark, you're a distant relative. And it used to be that they would go 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. Now they're distant relatives from 4 onwards. So like, damn them. I want to be able to look at something and go, that's my 4th cousin. That's my, yeah. I actually have to go into their profile and see that. And this is why, for example, a match around 200 centimorgans could potentially be a second cousin, a half first cousin once removed, a great aunt's descendant, or another relationship entirely. That's why DNA alone cannot tell you the exact relationship. You still have to do the genealogy research, go through family trees, ages, locations, and records to help narrow down which relationship is the correct one. And it may not be any of them. It could be something completely different, like another relationship entirely. You could even say that DNA tests measure DNA in centimorgans. Genealogy helps explain what that relationship actually means. So that's how you can do that. And this one's a good one. A centimorgan measures shared DNA, not emotional closeness. Genealogy doesn't measure emotional closeness either. So that's it for today. So remember, when you're looking at your DNA results, you're looking to see how many centimorgans you have in common. And centimorgans is what measures how close you are by blood relation. You still have to do the genealogy research to determine what the actual relationship is. If you need help doing that, scan the QR code up here to book a discovery call with us, and we'll be more than happy to look over your DNA results and help you get on the path to discovering how those centimorgans are actually related to you. But go out, have a super fantastic sparkling evening, and we'll be back tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. Pacific.